Happy Getaway Day, all you beautiful radio listeners. Thank you for dropping in on our little happy hour. We appreciate you listening. If you're watching on YouTube, here is a hand gesture just for you. You're welcome. YouTubers, feel free to hit us up on the chat. If you're listening on the radio through 105.1 FM, 1080 AM on 1051thefan.com, Odyssey.com, the Odyssey app, or you just ask your smart speaker to tune in live to the bet to see who wins between Casey and Luke in their epic showdown of who gets a slice of pizza based on the second series for the Mariners and the Yankees this year. Use the fan text line. It's 503-2GO-FAN. That's 503-864-6326. Use it. Use the chat. Use the text to share your thoughts, ask questions, solicit advice, or answer me this, dear listeners. Do you ever do anything for April Fool's Day?
Can't say I have.
Yeah, I'm not a big, pranks, kind of dumb, right? And it feels like that tends to be what it is. My wife and I kicked around the idea of maybe doing something towards our children today, and my wife immediately, I threw out an idea of hey, should we pretend that we're moving or something out of state just to see them react? She's like, it seems like too much. And she got a little overwhelmed with it. She threw out the idea of, hey, should we do chocolate-covered Brussels sprouts and they can bite into them thinking they're cake pops or something like that? And I'm like, that seems like a waste of food. So we both poo-pooed actual ideas. She doesn't like the idea of doing something that would be emotional for them.
You could always do the coffee ground shaped like a lava cake.
Well, yeah, but again, it requires effort. This is why pranks, I'm not a prank guy. It requires effort and then wasted
planning
food or whatever.
Yeah.
You're wasting time. You're wasting, I don't know how much money it ends up being, but you're wasting time. You're wasting food. You're wasting whatever. And it always feels like with a prank, there's a mess to clean up. I don't want to deal with that. I know there's people like George Clooney is famous dude for on-set pranks and hilarious. Listen, if I had a personal assistant that I'd be like, that was hilarious. Now clean that up, Deborah, or whatever, then I might be okay with it. But anything that requires cleanup or throwaway or prep, or I have to turn on the double boiler to melt chocolate to put it over Brussels sprouts.
Pranks do too much.
Yeah, it's if I had a Joke Squad and I was like, Joke Squad deploy, and they can go and set up the prank, I get that, but it seems like a lot of work.
Getting punked was a whole crew of people.
It
wasn't just Ashton Kutcher.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, you get a whole cast and crew, and then it's the whole point of a prank is to make somebody feel stupid at the end. I don't want people feeling stupid. I like them to be in on the joke. Listen, are my jokes stupid? Yeah. I'm happy to feel stupid. But
we're all in on them.
Yeah, well, and it doesn't hurt anybody, right? Because that's the other thing, is the internet's full of all these pranks where somebody walks into a room and here's a balloon full of shaving cream or
Again,
whatever.
these aren't borderline pranks. They're close to assault sometimes.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden somebody loses an eye, and now you've got a lawsuit on your hands, and you've got a wife with an eye patch or whatever it is. I don't want to do any of that. So if you're listening, if you're on the YouTube chats, if you know how to function the text message machine, do you ever do pranks? Do they ever turn out well? Do you have go-tos that you just do every year? I don't know. I don't get April Fools. I actually avoid doing things on April Fools. Tomorrow will be the anniversary of my wife and I officially being together. It was one of those things. Hey, let's just make this thing official. You know why it's not the first? Because I was like, let's not do this on April Fool's Day.
Let's not do that.
So I avoided it, and I was like, let's just make this thing. Yeah. So that's tomorrow, April 2nd.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good choice.
I would rather avoid doing things that might be construed as a joke. I will find another day to do it. So there you go. There you go. Speaking of, April Fools, this is not a joke. Pittsburgh is getting ready to welcome the nation to the unofficial beginning of football season, and the city's kickoff celebration will begin with an unforgettable invite-only night of music. It's called The Night Before. It takes place Wednesday, April 22nd at the Rivers Casino Event Center featuring Jason Aldean, not kidding, John Morgan, no joke, Shane Prophet, no fooling. Visit odyssey.com/the night before to enter now for your chance to win this national contest. Prizes include round-trip airfare and a 2-night hotel stay with tickets for 2 to the show. You should probably do that. I'm not joking. Are we not taking what Shohei Ohtani is doing seriously enough? Like, that guy, it feels like he's pretty good at baseball.
I think I have an issue with him nowadays.
Oh, do you?
Again, he's the best baseball player, bar none.
Okay.
But I'm just starting to get really sick of the Judge Ohtani comparisons.
Yeah, okay. Well, that's interesting because there's a big story on ESPN. And it is, well, let's compare the numbers and
who's
figure
more
it out.
valuable.
But this is a now you've opened a whole can of worms, Casey Smith. This is one of the things that drives me crazy, and maybe this is a Shohei Ohtani thing. We went to Fenway a few years ago, my brother and I, and we went to see, whoever the Red Sox were going to play. Just so happens the Angels were on the road, Shohei Ohtani was pitching. First time that a pitcher was the number 3 hitter at Fenway since, obviously, Babe Ruth. And, it's so exciting, whatever. We have to find comparisons in sports anyways. And maybe that's the exact point that I was going to get to anyways. Why can't we just sit back and appreciate what we're seeing from both of these guys? Because Aaron Judge, from a size and a power standpoint, but still being able to just put bat to ball and hit for average and do all the things that he does from a hitting standpoint. He's a decent fielder. He's not anybody that's going to light the world on fire, but he's also not a liability. He's a good defensive player and an all-time hitter. I mean,
Unless we're talking about the playoffs.
Wow. Do we need to talk about the playoffs? Do you want to talk about the playoffs?
I will skip that 5th inning proudly.
That seems probably worth skipping for now. But just sitting back and going, man, look at what this guy is doing. Shohei Ohtani is more of that than Aaron Judge for me because it is so unique to see a guy. It's funny, they keep talking about all of the guys with the ABS system. So the ABS works, and I don't know what the exact numbers are. 22% of your height is the bottom of the strike zone, 57% or whatever it is the middle of your strike zone. So what they had to do was take and do very accurate measurements of all of the players in Major League Baseball. A lot of guys lost height. Shohei gained an inch. Like, we were underestimating how big this guy is. And listen, I wasn't sitting on the field, but we were a handful of rows back from the visitors' dugout when we were out there at Fenway. My brother's 6'4". He's a big dude. Shohei didn't stand right next to him, but even him goes, that's a huge dude.
Enough where you can see the comparison.
Well, I am very much an average size guy. And so when I see somebody that's bigger than me, I can, pretty easily. One of my brothers like, dude, that guy's huge. And not just height, but his shoulders across, and he's got that, Adonis V shape just walking out there and just looks different than most baseball players. There's this old joke that has always stuck in my head, and because there's a fair amount of truth to it. When you go to a college campus, the joke goes, you can tell who the football players are because they all look like they can bench 300 pounds. You can tell who all the basketball players because they're all 6'10". You can tell who the baseball players are because they all walk around like they can bench 300 pounds and they think that they're 6'10". That's the joke. Baseball players are every shape and size. They always have this false confidence about them, and that's the humor in it, right? Shohei Ohtani is the opposite of that, where he looks bigger and badder than everybody else and walks around with this ease of just what he does. But he just goes out there and just, takes down the Guardians lineup, no problem, and just does it in such a smooth, effortless way. And it's remarkable. And then he goes and it just happens to be one of the best hitters in baseball.
again, all it took was a supporting cast to make it really important because we watched him, like you said, when he was on the Angels. And I think we watched him just for Shohei, just for this is something really cool that we might never see again.
Yeah.
Now that he's got a supporting cast around him,
he's got supporting cast around him. I mean, it's a pretty good supporting cast.
This just makes for fun baseball to watch.
Yeah.
My issue with it is they play two completely different types of game.
Now
the comparisons are tough.
I have not fact-checked this, but I'm looking at something called MLB.com. This was posted today. It is April Fool's Day. This says that the MLB's longest scoreless pitching streak is at 22 2/3 inning. It reached that yesterday by Shohei. The longest active on-base streak in Major League Baseball is 36 games. That also belongs to Shohei Ohtani. I mean, come on.
Stop the comparison. He's the best player in baseball. Everyone else is just playing.
I don't even need to compare. He is probably the best player we've ever seen from a just pure talent standpoint. You shouldn't be able to do both things. And the wildest part about it is he seems to do it in a way that is different from other hitters. You can kind of see when you look at baseball, that guy's a hitter, that guy's a pitcher. Pitchers are weird, hitters are this. And there's just this kind of vibe about it. You hit for average or you hit for power. You're a base stealer, and if you hit 30-30, that's in a comp. 40-40 is remarkable. The guy did he hit 50-50? Did he steal 50 bases and hit 50 home runs? Am I making that up? Like, the guy it's something else.
Yeah. 50-50.
I mean, okay, you can't be both power and average and on base and stealing bases.
Set the record.
Just that is one thing, and then he goes out and he's an ace.
54 and 59.
Again, April Fool's Day. I want to make sure that we're not getting roped into any traps. The internet's not juking us on any of these things. It all seems real, but at the same time, all seems unreal. And you're right. That I had it in my notes to be like, oh yeah, let's compare him. Why are we comparing anybody? Aaron Judge doesn't need to be compared to a bunch of other people. Sit back and watch. We've mentioned this multiple times. It's kind of feels like we're getting into the golden age of baseball, or at least a revision of it in somehow. It's 100%. so much fun to watch, and you can pick a team, and there is a great storyline worth watching. So sit back and enjoy, ladies and gentlemen. We're on commercial break. I was going to see what the update is on the Mariners and Yankees. It was 1-0 in the top of the fourth last time I checked. But right now, let's check in on some in case you missed it.
It is still 1-0 as they enter the middle of the fifth.
That seems fair. In case you missed it, the NFL Players Association has taken an unusual step and is publicly backing the referees union in their ongoing CBA negotiations with the league. The NFLPA is citing players' safety as a primary reason for supporting the Zebras. Plus, let's be honest, the players remember 2012. Back then, when you yelled at one of the replacement referees, there was a 50% chance they would just start crying at the 40-yard line, which made the rest of the drive incredibly awkward for everyone involved. In case you missed it, Paul Skeens bounced back with a dominant performance against the Cincinnati Reds, striking out 8 over 5 scoreless innings. Hey, guy, are you having a trouble with your pitching starts? Was she expecting you to go 5 strong on opening day, only for you to be pulled in the first? You know what you need? The Cincinnati Reds. That's right, the Reds haven't won a postseason game since 2012, or a series since 1995. The Big Red Machine, more like the Little Blue Pill. They're just there to make you look great. But hey, that Red squad made the postseason last year. Believe that if you want to, it was a wild card game. Side effects of playing the Cincinnati Reds may include overconfidence, a nagging realization that you're in Ohio, and loose, oily stools. That's more from the Skyline Chili, but you get the idea. So stupid. In case you missed it, toy giant Hasbro fell victim to a massive cyber attack this week, and hackers are already wreaking havoc with the information they found. They've reportedly leaked top-secret emails between G.I. Joe and the Avengers. They have posted compromising private photos of My Little Pony, and the biggest fear is still looming, and that happens to be that a global terror cell could get a hold of the classified recipe for Play-Doh. It's trying times, folks, trying times. In case you missed it, plate umpire Mark Wegner admitted that he completely lost track of the count during Cam Smith's 9-pitch walk Tuesday night. In fact, Smith should have been struck out on strikes on the third pitch, but incredibly ended up with a 9-inning walk. There was more bad calls by C.B. Buckner. This is incredible. The NFL officials are crying and fighting to save their jobs, while the MLB umpires are actively trying to get fired mid-game throughout Major League Baseball.
Did you see that C.B. Buckner got hit in the face today by a foul tip?
He got knocked out. I was like, I'm going to put something in about karmic justice, but I was like, that's one of the real dangers. But yeah, listen, if baseball can't take these guys out, maybe baseball will take these guys out. Who knows? In case you missed it, Bryce Harper was left frustrated on Wednesday when he had an out taken away from him thanks to a rule that rarely comes up in Major League Baseball. Harper thought he had the third out of the inning when he tagged Washington's Jacob Young, but Young was ruled safe when the first base umpire said that Harper pushed Young's hands off the bag to make the tag. Unbelievable. I officially take back all the nice things I said about Bryce Harper. Here he is trying to cheat by pushing a runner's hands off the bag so the Phillies can win a meaningless game in April. I never saw him doing anything illegal during the Team USA's loss in the World Baseball Classic. Where was your creative tagging when the flag was on the line, Benedict Harper? Is that an overreaction? And finally, in case you missed it, golf legend Tiger Woods announced yesterday that he is temporarily stepping away from the sport to seek physical treatment and focus on recovery following his DUI arrest. Let's just hope he can find the specific kind of hands-on help that he needs from the world-class professionals over at Orchids of Asia. I just hope those guys... I actually hope that they do a better job than his last treatment facility, Perkins. Hopefully that... No, in all honesty, I genuinely hope that Tiger gets help. I'm glad the car accident wasn't worse. Wishing the best for you, Tiger. Golfers everywhere know that the driving yips are the toughest kind of yips to recover from. So hopefully... It's tough. It's tough out there. Thank you to our studio audience. Hey, at 2:30 today, we're going to play our game we call the Subtext. Casey has pulled some audio from press conferences, both from coaches and players. We'll try to read the tea leaves, see what they're saying without actually saying it. But right now, we need to get into news from the Blazers, Mariners, Winterhawks, all kinds of stuff. It is the Daily Buzz. We do it next. It's Happy Hour on 105.1 The Fan. Well, kids, that was a nice little win for your Portland Trailblazers last night. We mentioned this yesterday. They've got, well, now just one left, but last night was one of two against the Clippers down the stretch. Drew Holiday out there with 30 points, 7 of 15 shooting from three-point range. Denny Advia added 28 points, 8 assists, and the Clippers go down. So nice to see the Blazers really stepping up in the moment. Casey, how you feeling about this little Blazers roster? I mean, it's not everything, but having a matchup against a team that is pretty good over the last, however many years, a team that's feels like is trending down in the Clippers. Blazers stepping up in big moments. I think that's an important step in the right direction for a team that just announced new ownership yesterday. You're going to try to figure out what's going to happen with your coach who's still interim, with Joe Cronin, who was an interim made GM. You have all the eyes of the new ownership group firmly placed on the team right now, I would imagine, going, hey, who's part of this team moving forward, who's not? And I think that's a good step in the right direction last night.
Right now, it kind of feels like the Blazers are playing like they know the report cards are coming out in a few weeks. You know how kids start acting, they'll start acting or behaving better when they know that the report cards are going to get sent home to mom and dad.
Yeah, they know they're being watched.
The end of the month.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of the energy that the Blazers are giving off right now.
I don't hate that energy. You know what? Because the kids that don't act better around report card time are dumb. I mean,
yes, they are.
They are unaware of their surroundings. So I say, good on you for being aware of what's going on.
The Buzz.
Oh, well, very tough shutout last night for Seattle. I mean, I don't really want to give the other team all the credit. I think it has a lot more to do with the attack, the power play. I mean, the Kraken just couldn't get anything going. I mean, Edmonton, I don't know how great they are, but, the Kraken have been kind of limping into the end of this season. 9 games left. They're a couple games outside of the postseason, or a couple points out of the postseason, but they can still eke their way in. I just think they need to play better down the stretch. But even if they get in the postseason, they're not going to really do anything. So other than that, I can't think of anything else that happened in Seattle that we need to address. But yeah, Kraken lose 3-0 to the Oilers. Tough one there.
The Buzz.
What's that, Casey? Did I miss?
I think you forgot something.
Max Fried's good at baseball.
Max Fried is very good at baseball.
Yeah, not a great outing for the ace. Ace? Is he the ace of the Mariners staff? Logan Gilbert getting roughed up early on. Listen, the Mariners are not really set up right now very well to take on a left-handed pitcher, especially an elite left-handed pitcher, and that was showcased last night from the offensive side. What they have, 3 hits all night
hits
last.
in 7 innings.
Not great, but their pitching staff is not looking like as healthy at the top end. Back end looks great. Emerson Hancock, Luis Castillo, even Brian Wu and George Kirby looked a little bit better, but Logan Gilbert has some things that he needs to figure out to get this season started. The best pitcher, we assumed, Logan Gilbert. The best hitters, we assumed, Julio, Cal, Josh Naylor. None of them holding up their end of the bargain early in the Mariners season, but Yankees look good. Rubber match underway right now. We are in the top of 6. It is 1-0 Yankees in Seattle.
The Buzz.
Luka turns out pretty good at basketball. Yes, he's jumping up the MVP odds. He had 42 last night. Should also mention, I don't want to miss this because it's an important update on NBA basketball. LeBron surpassed Kareem. I know, shocking. After seeing the headlines that yesterday he tied Kareem for the most regular season wins, only took him one night to pass him. But Luka had quite the month of March. His 600 points in March are the second. It marks the second time that a player had 600 points in a month.
Third time.
Oh, third time. I'm sorry.
Second
time. Last time was Michael Jordan, 1987. What was the other time?
James Harden did it in 2019.
Oh, maybe it was just a month of March.
Yeah, it was the month of March because James Harden did his in January and February.
Gotcha. Wait. He did it twice.
I believe in the same year he might have done
That James Harden can score. Well, Luka Doncic on a roll. I apologize. I'm sorry, Blazers fans, fellow Blazers fans. I will say, still consider myself a Blazers fan. I hope that I get to keep my card and carry it around. Kind of liking this Lakers team. They're kind of fun. Maybe it's because LeBron is so old. He's finally embraced that he's bald and looks pretty good with a shaved head. Maybe it's Austin Reeves going out there and earning himself $300 million or whatever the hell he's getting paid. Maybe it's a fact that, somehow the brainchild behind the Mavericks trade has already been fired, but Luka should never have been given to this team. Plenty of reasons to hate them. They're the Lakers. I get that. Every time I watch them or I watch highlights, I'm kind of like, I don't know what they got going on. This is what I'll say. I will take them over the Spurs. I will take them over the OKC.
Really?
I will certainly, yes, I'll take them over the Warriors. Not that I expect them to win, but from a fan perspective, a lot more fun to watch than any of those teams. I don't have any love for SGA in the way that he plays. There's just something about it. So many trips to the foul line. The Warriors are exhausting anyway. Steve Kerr, I'm kind of over him. It's the Durant hangover. I know he's not still there, but it always feels like it. Draymond Green and blah, and Steph Curry chewing on his mouthpiece. I can't get behind that. The Spurs have had their time. Listen, they got very lucky with the draft pick. I know they're a great organization, but for their two big runs towards championships, if this ends up being one, being fueled by magic lottery wins that give you Tim Duncan and Victor Wembanyama, a franchise shouldn't get both of those things. That does not seem fair.
That seems
to
like
me.
too big of a blessing.
It does. I can't root for the Clippers. There's too many teams that I can't root for. I'm looking at the West. Listen, if the Blazers play the Lakers, I am definitely not rooting for the Lakers. But the Lakers play most of the other teams in the West. Maybe I'll pull for the Nuggets. Maybe. But they're a little bit insufferable. Timberwolves? Rockets, definitely no. Dylan Brooks plus KD. I mean, you tell me. So maybe I'll put him third.
Is Dylan Brooks still in Houston? Or is he in Phoenix?
I don't care where he's at. You're right. But what? Well, Phoenix is the 7th seed. So I don't want any of that either. Did you see how quickly he got a technical last night? He's back.
I did.
He's out for a month. He's back for 2 minutes, less than 2 minutes, and he gets his first tech. I think he had all that practice yelling at his baby mama and kid during the off season or the hiatus,
or yelling at his lawyer during.
Just yelling at everybody. Can you imagine being the guy at Starbucks? Oh, God, he's back again.
Here he is.
He's got his hand all wrapped up because it's fractured. He's like, hey, give me that coffee. He's headbutting people in the. Anyways, all right. We went too long there. Let's do this. Let's walk over to the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. See
First on the fan, a little bit of an MLB scoreboard update for you as we had a bunch of games go final earlier this morning. The Braves took down the Athletics 5-1. The Orioles beat the Rangers 8-3. The Pirates picked up one of their first wins on the season as they took down the Reds 8-3. The Phillies, backed by a Bryce Harper home run, beat the Nationals 6-5. The Rockies beat the Blue Jays 2-1. The Marlins beat the White Sox 10-0. The Cardinals just went final moments ago as they beat the Mets 2-1. The Brewers beat the Rays 8-2. The Astros beat the Red Sox 6-4. The Cubs beat the Angels 6-2. And right now we have 3 games underway.
Yeah,
the Diamondbacks, the Yankees, and
yeah.
the Padres all lead in their contests.
Well, yeah, but more importantly, a quick update on your Mariners game specifically, or should I say your Yankees game. Goldschmidt just went bomb, 3-run shot, and now the Mariners trail 4-0. That was off of George Kirby.
And for more sports scores and stories in 30 minutes, I'm Casey Smith from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt, missing work? Insurance companies acting like jerks? Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at WarrenAllen.com.
The home of the Fan Happy Hour. listen in.
Let's listen in. Let's listen in.
Let's listen in.
I'm trying to convince my wife to, we obviously have a dog, but I'm trying to convince her to get a wolf that just kind of roams the area of our house, as like a kind of extra layer of protection. But apparently the trainer said that another guy had one and it turned on him in the middle of the night. And I was like, he just didn't have a good enough relationship with him.
You would be one of those guys that welcomes a big cat into the house, like a lion. Yeah. People keep those as pets. You could have something like that going
I don't know about that far, but like if you just had like an extra layer of security where a wolf just kind of roamed your property.
I was reading about people that have Siberian Huskies that won't come in the house at this time of year. They just want to be outside in the cold.
Are they patrolling or are they just out there though?
Yeah, I think they're keeping an eye on things.
Yeah, you want both. I'd rather have the patrolling aspect.
That was Celtics head coach Joe Mazzulla talking on a few Boston radio shows, talking about how he wants to get a wolf.
Yeah.
Can he get weirder?
I'm not 100% sure that he can. He is so bizarre. And the fact that he seems to be a great basketball coach. Maybe he just has this great team because his predecessor did just fine before he turned out to be a creep. So I'll take weird over creep over whatever it is. I don't know what the correct mentality is to be successful as a head coach in any sport. We've kind of talked a little bit about how bizarre coaches are anyways. But this guy, man, when he gets on an interview, if you're the Celtics PR team, you're just like, don't talk to anybody. Can we just keep you bottled up here? Maybe get a wolf to patrol Mazzulla so he can't go anywhere. Just keep him in his office, corner him.
However, there's a way to make sure that the staff and the players, get the appreciation. Don't need it. I think it's a stupid award. They shouldn't have it. And it's more about the players and it's more about the work that the staff puts in. And it's just that simple. I really don't ever want to be asked or talked about it again. It's just that dumb. So the players play. It's about them. Staff works their ass off. I'm grateful to have them.
He was more excited talking about the wolf.
Oh, way more excited about
than
the wolf.
People calling him the coach of the year.
This strange dude. I mean, it is absolutely bizarre. He acts like somebody's, putting all this effort and labor into like crafting a trophy just for him, and they're gonna take all this time and energy to go out. Dude, it's just a checkbox on a form, I'm sure. It's like if you're voting for NBA awards, it's one of several. Like,
it's just on the form.
It's a formality, dude. Like, calm down. If you don't want the trophy, don't take the trophy, but I never want to be asked about it again. It's dumb. Bizarre dude, man. I can't explain it.
Well,
let's talk the custody. The custody of athletes.
You got to go back. Probably it's Kyle, right? I mean, he started on that Niners staff. He and Salah, were working together on the defensive side of the ball when they first got there. I remember he did a great job with their secondary. I think Matt would say that since he came right from him. We'll give them both credit. They're both under the Matt LaFleur, Kyle Shanahan. He's a hell of a coach. I really like Jim.
Why isn't it called the Kyle Shanahan coaching tree? Why is it the McVay?
It should be.
It's
here's the thing. I think
I don't
Mike
like when
Shanahan.
You guys are friendly towards each other.
It's the Mike Shanahan tree. We all started under his dad, and Kyle was the coordinator. And so, look, I have such appreciation for the history of this game. It's not like everybody that's come through our building, they've contributed, and I've learned from them too. And Kyle's somebody that I learned from, and I worked underneath him as an assistant. I can remember, when I was responsible for the red zone, trying to get plays in, and when he'd end up getting those in, you're excited about it. So it should be the Shanahan tree. I agree.
That was Sean McVay talking at the 2026 annual league meeting. He spoke with Kay Adams. How important is it to have a really strong coaching tree?
Well, I mean, I think it's one of the most important things next to the Coach of the Year award. I mean, those are the two things, like making sure that you have the proper branches credited to you. No, coaching trees are kind of idiotic. I mean, there's so many different interactions that all of these guys have. I mean, the idea that Belichick had Saban as his defensive coordinator in Cleveland, and both of them go on to have such great success. Well, why didn't it work in Cleveland? Like, don't give me an idea that this all happens to work out. There's so many little things in sports that could have killed a dynasty but let it flourish. I mean, with Belichick, just as an example, I always go back to the Tom Brady tuck rule. Had that been a fumble and they lose to the Raiders in the snow, they don't even make the championship game. Who knows if Drew Bledsoe comes back as quarterback? There's all these little things that have to happen just right for somebody to be the difference between being great and a GOAT. I mean, not greatest of all time GOAT, but an actual, like, chewing on cans in somebody's trailer yard
hiking mountains.
Yeah. The coaching tree and who gets credit for somebody else being successful. Because who was Mike Shanahan under before he was a head coach? Wasn't he part of the Bill Walsh or the West Coast offense or the Mike Holmgren or the whoever tree? Like, everybody learned from somebody. And to give Joe Mazzulla some credit, any of it's possible without having the right players. If Joe Montana isn't Bill Walsh quarterback, is he the guy that he is? Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. Go on and on and on. Because Sean McVay looked really boy genius-y when he got to a Super Bowl with Jared Goff. He couldn't win one until he got Matt Stafford. So yeah, you can throw out the coaches' trees for me, and the coaches' awards. I agree. I mean, I don't disagree with Mazzulla, but the way that he presents it, all these awards are, just a pat on the back for a season well done.
They're just additives.
It's awful. And there are some actual contractual incentives built into it, but outside of that, it is a lot of just patting people on the back.
Well, you could look at it two ways. You could look at it as a challenge that you have to deal with every year, or you could look at it like it's a blessing that you have turnover on your offensive side of the ball. It means you have success. We try to look at it through the second lens of guys having opportunities and growing, and I think the overarching theme is we want continuity in that system. We want to be running this Seattle Seahawks offense from now until they have me, And I think we have a lot of talented guys in the building too that can keep expanding their roles over time. So just something you have to deal with from year to year, but you also have to have a long-term plan as well. And I think it's a great opportunity for us. If you want to coach offensive football at a high level, there's going to be a lot of turnover on that side of the ball, and I'm really excited for our group this year. We've added some great coaches, including Brian, and guys like Thomas Hammock, Daniel Stern. Those guys are really great coaches, and they're gonna add to our crew.
That was Mike Macdonald talking about how important continuity is in your locker room, your roster, just everything that has to do with the organization. Continuity is a very important aspect that he wants to hold.
Yeah, we spent a lot of time talking about how many players were re-signed to the Seahawks roster.
Since 61 out of the 72?
I think it's 62, because we might have been premature on Bobo going to Jacksonville or something like that. But there have been multiple signings. We've talked about how many of those guys contributed on special teams that were your 6th and 7th wide receivers or whatever their position was on the depth chart for their primary position. And how much that stuff matters, but there was a lot of talk about which of the guys would be promoted to offensive coordinator from within the Seahawks organization leading up to the hiring of Brian Fleury, who came from San Francisco. But the reason it sounds like that he was made as the hire was because the philosophies lined up when he sat down for the interview. So I think having the long view that Mike Macdonald has, I mean, especially as a young coach going, hey, I want this to feel like my team. He gets so much credit for the defensive side of the ball. But it's funny how we silo football as much as we do. Where if you're a defensive coach, well, you get credit for that. But the offense belonged to Clint Kubiak, who is now apparently part of the Mike Macdonald tree because he had success. Whatever. He's Clint Kubiak's son. Give your dad some credit first, who's part of the Mike Shanahan tree. Sorry, I've derailed. I love the idea that the Seahawks way will impact the coaches coming in as much as the coaches coming in will impact the Seahawks way. I think that makes a ton of sense. Not just because it's my team, but I mean, that's kind of the feel that you should have. There's these funny things that happen in sports kind of accidentally, where the Bears have never had a good quarterback and always seem to have a great linebacker. Or you have, the Yankees always seem to, have at least one big star at any point, or the Jets are always terrible. Like, whatever it is, there's these things that tend to be fit with the continuity. But if you look at the Seahawks, look at John Schneider's last 2 coaching hires. Pete Carroll, defensive guy, Mike McDonald, defensive guy. So even there is some continuity. So I like it. I'm with it.
One, I think, is a slow news cycle. I don't want to at all downplay the experience that Max had coming, that we all had. The Raiders, Ravens, Max, our locker room. As Eric said, we were incredibly excited and just as equally, if not more, disappointed that we weren't able to pull off that transaction and bring Max to Baltimore. I'm not going to go too much deeper into that. To answer your specific question, we've got strong and long relationships across the league. We have emphasized the importance of doing things the right way. We'll continue to do that. And we understand that it is a headline story because of its profile and significance. We believe, our relationships, to the extent that you need time to repair them, people understand who we are and what we're about. Our locker room understands that as well. But when you have high-profile transactions like this and opportunities like this, it's unfortunate, but sometimes these things do happen. No fault of Max's, certainly, or ours, or the Raiders. It's just...
That was Sashi Brown, the president of the Baltimore Ravens, talking about the Max Crosby ordeal. Is he downplaying this? Or is it kind of right on the nose where, again, as he was wrapping up there, said it's not really on the fault of the Ravens or on Max Crosby. It just kind of is the way it is.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just curious with the next steps for the Ravens. I mean, they moved away from a long-term head coach, and the first big headline they make after moving away from the face of the organization, at least from a coaching standpoint. Lamar probably still the face of the organization overall, but the first step away from it seems to be a pretty big gaffe. So does it end up meaning something? Who knows? They might go out and they've got a 2-time MVP playing quarterback. They've got a unique specimen and the greatest runner from high school through the NFL that maybe we've ever seen from just a pure natural talent standpoint in the backfield. They could right the ship and be just fine. And maybe Jesse Minter is the guy to take them over the hump, and they can figure out how to win in the playoff, and all of this is forgotten. But this will be brought up again and again and again if they stumble out of the gates and they end up having a bad season, or they can't, finish strong, or whatever it is. So just like we were talking about earlier, there's these little moments that feel like they're the genesis of what is to come. I think
bigger than,
but it depends. Like there's also a million instances that are forgot because things went the other way. But this will be something that people will look back on if the Ravens are terrible.
That's all I got for you.
All right. Well, good news out of the TSA from the Atlanta airport. Oh, this one had me worried. We'll talk about that when we do one more for the road. It's next on Happy Hour 105.1, The Fan and The Fan Sports Network.
The Fan.
All right, kids, welcome back. If you missed anything from the show, podcast will be available shortly at 1051thefan.com, Odyssey.com, the Odyssey app, or feel free to drive to Casey's house. Casey, do you want to give them your address?
Maybe next time.
Okay, next time. We'll get that. Yeah, we're short on time here. Good call. What are people saying on the text, toy, and YouTube chats that we need to address?
People saying the prank conclusion should be a reward for the pranked. It shouldn't necessarily be detrimental.
Like if you could prank somebody instead of getting a pie in the face, they just get like a warm slice of pie.
I think that's a good prank.
Yeah, like oh, gotcha! You didn't think you were getting pie. Like some.
Yeah, but it also doesn't hit the same. That's not quite a prank. That's more of just a gift.
Yeah. I remember my father one time when I was a child came to me, and I remember not feeling well. He came in the room, like just yelling at me. And he's like, hey, your mom told me I need to come up here. Da, da, da. I was like, what? And he goes, heard you got a tummy ache. Here's a Sprite and a straw for you. It sticks in my head as one of those. That was a good prank, if you could call that a prank.
That's a good
But
one.
is that a prank? But yeah, like, it comes up as if I'm in trouble. I have a tummy ache. And he's like, yeah, I brought you a Sprite. Here you go. Here you go, bud. Punched me on the shoulder, and it was the last time I saw him. Just kidding. All right, let's do. Well, I don't know if this was a prank or not, but a lot of headlines yesterday reported that a $1,000 gift card that was given to more than 250 TSA agents by one Tyler Perry were going to have to be returned because they did not go through the appropriate channels and TSA agents not allowed to accept gifts. According to People magazine, that is not true. Tyler Perry went through all the proper channels, and they get to keep their $1,000 in Chipotle gift cards. I don't know what they're going to do with that much Chipotle, but I don't know if they're Chipotle. But they do get to keep their gift cards, so that's nice. The people that did not get paid any money get gift cards from Tyler Perry. Neat. Big thanks to Casey Smith. Thank you to everybody for listening, of course. Thank you, Isaac Robb. We're all done for now. Bye-bye.
Right side of life. For life is quite absurd, and death's the final word. You must always face the curtain with a bow.
Running a business means wearing